Hello everyone, how you doing? Today we're going to be playing a little bit of NEOS. Now, this is definitely a casual deck for sure. This is not going to carry you super high in ranked, but it is an awful lot of fun, and it's a great way of playing one of the most classic sort of GX boss monsters, which is Elemental Hero NEOS. Now, we were initially playing around with some crazy armed dragon version of this deck to take full advantage of the new armed NEOS, which admittedly is a cool card if it works, but it's not only awkward to summon, it's also very awkward in its secondary. It sort of fights against itself almost. Like, it's got a really good first effect that helps you clear your opponent's entire board, but its second effect only works when it destroys a monster by battle. And it's like, well, like, pick a lane. Like, what do you want to do? Destroy it with its effect or destroy him by battle? So it's a little bit awkward, but it is really, really powerful in that it can summon Cosmo NEOS during your opponent's turn. So, you know, it is what it is. We'll just sort of have to play around with it and see. This is definitely a heavy sort of going second deck. That's why we're playing Dark Ruler No More, Lightning Storm, Max C, and Imperm as our sort of flex spots of choice. We're going to do some live gameplay. Like I said, I'm just going to take the deck, we're going to hop into casual, play around with it, and at the end of the video we're going to do a deck profile card for card, just so you guys sort of know what's going on. I wouldn't necessarily recommend you play this deck unless you're actually just a fan of NEOS, but you know what, if you're a fan, it should be a fun one. If you're new around here, feel free to subscribe if you want to see more videos either like this or like our more competitive deck breakdowns that we would do, and like the video if you do actually enjoy watching. Let's get into it. Alright, we finally get a match. We do lose the coin toss, which is fine. They're going to force us to go second, which is ideal, honestly. A lot of your cards in this deck really do sort of want to go second, of course, that's why we're playing it that way. So your opponent winning the coin toss and not knowing that you want to go second is usually better. Now this is a pretty solid hand. You don't like seeing the armed dragon in your hand, that is annoying. But apart from that, oh, we got Witchcrafters. Witchcrafters, interesting. Okay. Alright, this should be a fun one at least. Let's get this going. They're going to special summon the souls. Another end shuffle, not the greatest draw in the world. They got a normal there, Schmieda. Put their Schmied on the board. They got Witchcrafter by street. What does this do? First time Witchcrafter would be destroyed. It is not destroyed. Would discard activate effects in this card. Alright, alright. It's okay. So it just sort of offers protection. Now that's a hell of a draw right there. That is a damn draw. So we're going to start with our connector. NEOS Connector is going to special summon a NEOS or a NEOS Spacian directly from the deck. So we're going to go for the main man, the Aqua Dolphin, the Dolphin of Aqua. That is fine. Probably not going to use, because we've opened up the Armed Dragon, we're probably not going to use Armed NEOS this duel. And this sort of protection is also pretty annoying. I'm going to have a wee look in their hand just to see if they've got something like an Ash Blossom. We're going to drop the Armed Dragon. We're going to get a peek at what's in their hand. Okay. Well, we're going to pop that. We don't need to be dealing with that. I don't know what that does. But that's that. That's destroyed. That's pretty awesome. Okay. Now we can go for End Shuffle. End Shuffle allows us to return a NEOS Spacian or an Elemental Hero to summon a different one from the deck. So we get to bring back our Aqua Dolphin to summon out the Spirit of NEOS. Spirit of NEOS hits the board. Make sure our sound is all good. Yep. Spirit of NEOS then activating its effect to search our deck for a NEOS related card. We already have the biggest ones, so I guess we're just going to go for Instant Contact. We've already got the other big ones. Okay, now we're going to activate Elemental Hero Spirit of NEOS. We're going to shuffle it back into the deck. We're going to summon out the original Elemental Hero NEOS. The OG, Big Lad himself. I mean, do we have lethal? 45, that's 7,000. We need like 500 more damage for that to be lethal. Let me see. Well, how does the Marine Dolphin's effect work? It has to be a monster card to inflict that 500 points of damage. Alright. Okay. what we're going to do is we're going to go instant contact. Paying 1,000 life points, we get to summon out from our extra deck a hero monster, basically. So we're going to go for a Marine NEOS. Or Marine Dolphin, sorry. Now we're going to use these two. Sorry, how does the Aqua Dolphins effect work? What does this do? Discard one card, destroy one card around. Okay, so it doesn't affect the damage. The 500 damage is what I'm looking for here, because we kind of have a lethal play, but we also don't, because we can't inflict 500 points of damage, which is really disappointing. But that's fine. It is what it is. They're going to go for Shemitah's effect here. That's all good. They're going to discard Harpy's Feather Duster, because we were going to pop the card in their hand anyway, so it makes total sense. They're going to summon Madame Beret, I can only imagine. Or the Golem Aruru. Okay, that also works, I guess. If your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a spellcaster, you can target one card your opponent controls. Okay, wait. Well, we're not targeting anything. Alright, so we're going to go NEOS Fusion then. We're just gonna go for it. We're just gonna gun it, my guy. We're just gonna go send Rainbow Dragon and Rainbow NEOS and Elemental Hero NEOS to bring out Rainbow NEOS. Now, NEOS Fusion does lock you out of summoning for the rest of the turn, so unfortunately we don't have a lot of plays here, but we are able to send a monster we control to the graveyard to return all of our opponent's monsters back into the deck. We're gonna go for End Shuffle here. End Shuffle is going to banish itself. We get to shuffle back our Elemental Hero NEOS from the graveyard, grabbing our connector. And then we're just going to swing. Like I said, unfortunately we couldn't find that extra 500 damage for lethal, but it's totally fine. Again, Rainbow NEOS, we also have that NEOS Fusion in the graveyard, so if he tries to destroy any of our NEOS Fusions, we can banish our NEOS Fusion to protect it. So we're in a pretty good spot. We're in a decent spot here. And the reason I'm saying decent spot and not that we have it in the bag, because I appreciate our opponent is playing Witchcrafters and they just make shit happen somehow every time. Banish from the graveyard, pitch a Witchcrafter to grave. Alright. Sending Petoir. Petoir, banish, draw one. He literally just heal mirrored there. He just heal mirrored. Drawing one, dropping the Jenny. Banish this and one Witchcrafter spell. Oh, unfortunate. Our opponent could not out the Rainbow NEOS. What a dang game. Awesome. Let's get in the game too. Alright, getting into another game here. We are losing the coin toss, which is nice after the last game. Last game our opponent just messed up their plays. Lost to Maxi. It happens. Sometimes you just lose to Maxi. Oof, a lot of bricks in this hand. I'll give you this much, NEOS plays a handful of bricks. It really do. God damn. Who the hell's playing Tearlaments in casual? Get a fucking life. Get a load of this dork. Going for Rhino Hot. The Rhino Hot. Rhino Heart gonna mill out a tier card. Sending a Havness. Havness gonna fusion summon, probably with a Merly in hand. In that case, we're gonna go Max C. Hopefully he just doesn't have the out. 3 cards in hand that could possibly be an Ash Blossom. Well. Wheel. Actually shuffling back the... I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Now Kit can grab either a Sulik or a Crime, and he already has the Merly to use the second effect, so I guess that makes sense. Alrighty. Having both NEOS and Spirit of NEOS on hand is really annoying. We could maybe cut Spirit of NEOS down to 1. Although I would like to replace it with an Elemental Hero card of some description, just so that we can make our Engage still just as consistent. Not that it's like super consistent, but you know, we don't want to take away from that. So we'll probably do that. Oh my god, this man has chains. This man chains. He's good. Real Kalos comes out, then Sulik will search. Grabbing Siren, yep. Scream will search, grabbing Crime, yep. Megiddo will mill. He milled 2 copies of Branded Fusion. Are you actually joking me? And our one oh, Polly! No! What are you doing? That's annoying. That's really annoying. Oh no, stop milling my deck, man. Oh, and shuffle. That's a good one. He's milling my deck. I'm gonna go into Elf. Okay. I'm gonna draw. This is not a good situation, man. This is not a good situation. We're gonna normal summon the Aqua Dolphin. There's no shot that, like, we just watched him do a full Tearlaments combo and setup, and then our response is normal summon Aqua Dolphin. Okay, there's Crime. Crime activating, going to negate Called by the Grave. Alright. Fair enough. Can't say I didn't see this coming. Okay, mill 3. He mills a Kelbeck, man. Can I catch a break, please? Right, we're gonna drop. Gonna drop NEOS. Okay, so it's just a Sulik in his hand. Now we're gonna go end shuffle. Baba banished. He might Mudora here. I would. Just to be spiteful. Send back NEOS. Draw 1. We draw the ring. What am I meant to do, man? What am I meant to do? I mean, I guess we have to play it out. Right, okay. Right, okay. Okay, right, okay. Elf, get reviving, gonna bring back, what was that? Gamma. Bring back Gamma. Alright. Interesting. Oh, into Gigantic? Huh. Interesting. I don't know how I feel about that one. He top decks Foolish Burial. He top decks the Royal Rare Foolish. God is simply on his side. There's Kaleido Heart. Alright. Our Aqua Dolphin has been... Our impossible to deal with Aqua Dolphin has been dealt with. Oh no. Spirit of NEOS, we activate that. It gets negated. Yeah, there was no way. There was no way he was going to allow that. Imagine bringing Tearlaments into casual, you pussy. Whatever. You absolute dork. Get out of here. Well, we knew NEOS wasn't going to be able to keep up with Tearlaments, right? That was obvious. And then the next one. Okay, I'm losing another coin toss. Fair enough. One of these days, we're going to be made to go first. And we're not going to be happy about it. Because this deck has like 0 plays going first. Your best play going first is like hand looping your opponent for maybe 3 cards. Which is good, don't get me wrong. Like that's pretty dope. But like it's not really what you're looking for. You can very easily hand loop your opponent for like 2 or 3 cards. Which is definitely something, for sure. It's definitely a very different going first strategy compared to most. Ooh, extravagance. Extravagance. I'm with it. Banishing 6, draw 2. Okay. Probably not going to be special summoning a lot then, if I were to guess. Probably not. Lightning Storm is going to go burr if he doesn't do something about it. Ooh, I see what you're doing, you little pussy. I see what you're doing. You're gonna try to burn me, man. He's gonna try to burn me. Well, I know exactly what we're gonna do about that. Suck it. Lightning Storm. Wipe the back row. Get that shit out of here. Gravedigger's Trap Hole. We're gonna normal summon NEOS Connector. NEOS Connector then summoning out from the deck another card. Ooh, Ash Blossom. That's not good. Ash Blossom is not good for us. You know, we could instant contact and we could do some like shenanigans, but I don't even really think it's worth it, man. Given that our opponent's playing a pretty slow deck, I think we can chill. Let me see. This locks me into fusions, doesn't it? No, this doesn't. I guess we could do Infernal Divisor. I mean, that's a play, I guess. And put something in our graveyard for us to use later. I guess we can do that. Maybe not the greatest play in the world, but it's a play. Wow. Really? Really? That's just rude. Alright. Let's go Flame Wing, man. Oh, you're not a hero monster. Oh no, I'm dumb. Oh, I'm stupid. I'm actually... Oh my god, I am slow in the brain. Okay, so we wasted our instant contact and gave our opponent a card. Oh my god. I'm so dumb. I forgot that New Space Connector isn't a hero monster. God damn it, man. That's so dumb. I don't know why I did that. My plan was to go Divisor just so I could have the Flame Wing Man in the graveyard to like Miracle Fusion later on. Of course you're playing Wangu. The absolute Wanger. Okay. Well, that's not good. This man is playing like 2005 Control. What the hell is going on right now? We got the Panther. Well, we can't really do anything with that right now. Nor am I concerned about my opponent going for lethal. I'm just going to pass turn. We could have set the Maxi, I guess, but, you know. I don't think he's going to do 5,600 points of damage without special summoning. Never mind, he's not special summoning at all. Inferno Tempest, Metal Reflect Slime, and Gravedigger's Trap Hole. Grabbing the Gravediggers. Fair enough. That makes sense. Oh, double Wangu. Double Wangu. Give me Spirit of Neos. Give me Neos Fusion. Give me Engage. Give me Shuffle. So many good cards in our deck right now. So many great cards in our deck right now that we could draw. So many. All we need to do is draw one. Thank you. Neos Fusion, probably not the one that I would have wanted to go for, but the one we got nonetheless. Let's go. Let's go Neos Fusion. We got a couple of options. So we could do Armed Neos, wipe the board, and then swing directly. That doesn't give us a lot of follow-up though, I guess. Rainbow Neos is probably better. That's Gravedigger's Trap whole set. So it is. Let's go Armed Neos. We've already seen Rainbow Neos this video. Let's go Armed Neos. Bringing out the big lad himself. Now, we could nuke the board here. We could absolutely nuke the board. But we're not going to do that. This is what I mean. His effects sort of clash. I don't really want to do that because I want to have my second ability live. So I do. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into battle. We're going to swing into the Wangu using our Armed Neos. There you go, 18 to the face. Destroy it by battle. That means now, as a quick play effect, we can at any point tag our Armed Neos out into another Elemental Hero Fusion monster. So we're either going to go for Cosmo Neos or the Shining Neos Wingman. Both of which are very valid targets. And the reason we went for this is that the Rainbow Neos wasn't going to give us lethal anyway, whereas Armed Neos is going to be able to wipe out any problematic back row he manages to get his hand on with this top deck before it's even live. So it doesn't matter what he just drew, he's going to get cooked by our Armed Neos in a minute. Is the Bestial Baldrake. This man is balling out. I can't even use Maxi because he'll use Gravediggers against me. And then I'll just lose my Maxi and 2,000 life points. So yeah, I can't really allow that to happen. Banishing the Neos-based connector, summoning itself to the field. I don't know why you wouldn't banish Neos, but you know. Your game, I guess. Activating the Drissworm. Whoa, he's really going for it, huh? He's really going for it. Ooh, bringing out the Earth Charmer. I would imagine that's just to trigger the Drissworm's effect. Targeting my Armed Neos, trying to send it to the graveyard. This is as good an opportunity as any to use the effect of our Armed Neos. We're going to tribute it as a quick effect to summon out any of our Neos cards directly from the extra deck. The one we're going to go for is the Elemental Hero Shining Neos Wingman. Coming out here, 3100 base attack points, boosting itself up by 300 for each Elemental Hero monster in the graveyard, I believe, or each monster in the grave. Now we're activating his effect. On summon, you can destroy cards on the field up to the number of different attribute monsters on the board. There's currently 3 different attributes, so we can use our Shining Neos Wingman to pop up to 3 cards. So we're going to pop 1, we're going to pop 2, we're going to pop 3, wipe the board, and that puts that to rest. They're going to activate the Earth Charmer's effect, grabbing an Earth monster with 1500 or less defense from their deck to their hand. I was going to say, probably just going to search for Max C, but it's not going to matter. Not going to matter. Into the end phase, all we need to do is draw any decent monster or any decent card. Again, we have so many good cards we could draw. Imperm is not the one that springs to mind. Imperm is not the one that springs to mind. Either way, normal summoning the Dark Panther. He's going to activate Max C here, which suits me just fine because I wasn't planning on summoning any more this turn. We're going to go Battle Phase, swinging in at the opponent here. 1037 to the face. Leaving him very, very low on life points here. 700 life points remaining. We're going to set a card and we're going to pass. So remember, our Shining Neos Wingman is still protected by the Neos Fusion that we have in the graveyard, so he can't use any sort of destruction effects to stop our Shining Neos Wingman. The Panther slightly more vulnerable, but still. Oh, that is and we're right back where we started, baby. Right back where we started. God damn. Turn 10, an exact replica of his turn 1 board. God damn. Fair dues, my friend. Well, it's been a fun one. Into the battle phase. What the hell? Hang on. Whoa, whoa. Oh. Okay. Okay. My Neos is still too big, man. Normally we would inflict damage to him equal to the attack points of his destroyed monster, but he doesn't have any attack points. Either way, Dark Panther for lethal. Oh, never mind. He's still in the game. Why did you ruin my dramatic finish? Why would you do that? He's just banking on this one last draw. There it is. Alright, whatever. Couldn't let me have my dramatic finish. Whatever then. Alright. Alright, so that was the gameplay there. We didn't get quite as many matches as I thought we were going to. Casual's a little bit dead at the minute. But either way, it was a lot of fun. We did see some ups and some downs, is what I'll say. So we'll go through the deck here quickly. We're running 2 copies of NEOS. You'll need 2. Your deck sort of revolves around having at least 1 copy in your deck. So I think 2 is pretty safe. Triple Max C because you want to go second. 3 Neospecians. The reason we play 3 Neospecians is so that you can potentially try to go into like Cosmo Neos legitimately. Also, your engage Neospace and your end shuffle requires you control either a hero monster or a Neospecian, so having a few different copies is usually pretty helpful. You don't need to run these, but you don't need to run 3, but I would definitely run at least 2, to be honest. Stratos, I run 1 Stratos just as an end shuffle target. I did want this deck to be more Neospecian themed than anything else. That's sort of why we're doing it this way. Like, this deck isn't designed to be super powerful, it's just designed to be sort of fun. It's a cool way to play Neos. But you could, if you really wanted to, cut a Dark Panther to play an additional copy of Stratos. I think Stratos is really good, of course, but that is entirely up to you. Triple Neospace Connector. This card is unironically really freaking good. Whenever it's summoned, you get to grab a Neospecian monster or an Elemental Hero Neos directly from your hand or deck and summon it in defense, which is incredible. You can also tribute it to special summon from your graveyard another Neospecian or Elemental Hero Neos card. You can use both of those effects once per turn. So this card's honestly incredible. It really is, for sure. There's a lot more you can do with this card if we were to start mixing up our extra deck, but like I said, I really didn't want to start playing like non-hero monsters. A really good usage of this card is with Isolde. You might want to like cut Wonder Driver maybe for Isolde and put this in if you really want to play it a little bit more competitively, just as an option, just for an extra search really, to be honest. But yeah, again, just throwing ideas at you. What you do with them is up to you. We were just playing it like this for some more hero-based fun. We've got Spirit of Neos. Spirit of Neos will special summon itself from your hand if your opponent declares an attack and cannot be destroyed by battle during the turn in which it uses this effect to summon itself. On summon, it will search your deck for a polymerization or any spell or trap that specifically mentions an elemental hero monster by name in its text, which is basically all of your NEOS cards, which is pretty awesome. It can also shuffle itself back into the deck to summon the OG NEOS straight out to the field. For that reason, you probably want to cut this card down to 1 and then find room for something else, to be perfectly honest, and potentially another, like I said, another Stratos. Another really good option we weren't playing was a Hero Lives. That's another card you could potentially try to be making room for. Maybe you want to cut these 2 cards, play a couple of copies of a Hero Lives. Again, just ideas, just options. We're playing 1 each of Rainbow Dragon and Armed Dragon level 10. These are our sort of Garnet fusion targets for our NEOS fusion into our biggest 2 fusion monsters, Armed NEOS and Rainbow NEOS. So they're basically just Garnets for their fusion. Getting into spells, like we're not playing very many monsters at all here. In the spells, we got Poly, we got Miracle Fusion to be searched off Sunrise. So Miracle Fusion basically lets you fusion summon into an elemental hero monster using your graveyard. You typically don't use this card very often. Sunrise doesn't come out because you're not playing a ton of different heroes. It's not very. The only real circumstances in which you'll summon Sunrise is when you're preparing for a legitimate Shining NEOS Wingman play. So you'll summon your NEOS through your Spirit of NEOS' effect, then you'll use Instant Contact to summon out the Flame Wingman, polymerize the Flame Wingman with a NEOS to bring out Sunrise. Sunrise grabs Miracle Fusion, the NEOS and Wingman in the graveyard to go into your Shining NEOS Wingman. That way you have a Sunrise and a Wingman. So that's basically the only real circumstance in which you use it in this deck, to be real. So yeah, triple NEOS Fusion. Basically the main sort of fusion card of the deck. Send monsters from your deck to the graveyard, listed on an elemental hero NEOS fusion monster, and summon it. It can also banish itself from the graveyard to protect one of your NEOS fusions from being destroyed. So it's basically branded fusion, like 0.5, because after you activate this card, you can't special summon for the rest of that turn. So it's not like the greatest card in the world. It's definitely not a combo starter. Usually you want this to be the last thing you use in a turn, but being able to instantly bring out the likes of, like I said, Armed or Rainbow NEOS, I don't know why I said them the opposite way around, is really, really good. So NEOS Fusion, definitely almost mandatory 3 of, for sure. Dark Ruler No More and Lightning Storm just to clear out your opponent's boards, going second. Prosperity, get Surgeon, check the top 6 cards of your deck and grab one. Engage Neo Space. So you'll send a Neo Spacian and an elemental hero monster, one from your hand and one from the deck, to the graveyard to special summon a Neo Spacian or a elemental hero monster from your deck, and you get to grab a copy of Polymerization. If you summon OG Neos, it gains 1000 attack points, that's whatever. It does also fusion lock you. So engage Neo Space. Typically you're going to use this card to summon out your Spirit of Neos directly from the deck. That gives, of course, Spirit of Neos. That's why we're playing 2 copies of it, to be honest, just to make sure we always have one in deck for our Neo Space. Yeah, so basically you just drop 2 cards, one from the hand, one from the deck. So being able to mill out one of your Neo Spacians or a hero monster is pretty awesome. You get to grab, poly, and summon Spirit of Neos, and Spirit of Neos will then search for one of your other cards. So if you're able to resolve Engage Neo Space, that's like a 1-card way of getting into Shining Neos, because it grabs Poly, you summon Spirit of Neos, which grabs Instant Contact, Spirit of Neos tags itself out for Neos. Well, now you've got Neos, Instant Contact for your Wingman, and Polymerization in your hand, so you can instantly go into your Elemental Hero Shining Neos Wingman. So if you can resolve Engage Neo Space, you summon the Shining Neos Wingman, which is pretty awesome. It is a little bit... It's not the most consistent card in the world, of course, because it is quite stringent in its requirements. But you can play more hero monsters or more Neo Spacians to make this card live more often, although it hasn't been a massive issue in testing. Instant Contact, you will special summon any level 7 or lower Elemental Hero or Neo Spacian monster from the extra deck, but it's negated if you don't control a Neos, basically. And that's really handy for the likes of course, the Elemental Hero Flame Wingman to go into your Shining Neos Wingman play, but also for the likes of the Neo Spacian Marine Dolphin, which is a pretty awesome card. Basically, you can discard a card to look at your opponent's hand to pump a monster in their hand, so long as you control a monster bigger than it. So being able to hand loop your opponent for additional cards, also providing you the material needed for Marine NEOS, which just destroys a random card in your opponent's hand with no cost, means that you can use instant contact to either go into a board breaker or to loop your opponent's hand for 2 extra cards, which is pretty awesome. And shuffle. Shuffle back a elemental hero or Neospecian you control into the deck to summon an elemental hero monster with a different name from your deck. Another way to go in the Spirit of NEOS. Another way to go in the Stratos if you already have Spirit of NEOS or in some form or capacity. Being able to shuffle back Neospecians as well gives you the ability to make your Neospace connector significantly more powerful, because you can shuffle back one of the cards you search for, and again, being able to go into the likes of Aqua Dolphin, discard a card, loop your opponent's hand for 1 to shuffle it back, and then summon out another monster to continue your plays is pretty damn awesome. So yeah, absolutely. We got Call by the Grave just to stop them from like Ash Blossoming you ideally, and lastly Imperm, because it's a pretty versatile card both for going first and for going second. Of course you want to be going second most of the time with this deck, so having a card that can flip-flop between both is really good. Getting into the extra deck, Marine Dolphin, like we said, loops your opponent's hand for 1 and is material for Marine NEOS, which also loops your opponent's hand for 1, so there's a wee 2-card loop there. Flame Wingman exists purely as material for the Shining NEOS Wingman to be summoned off of instant contact. Elemental Hero Aqua NEOS, very similar. Contact fusion between NEOS and Neospecian Aqua Dolphin. You discard a card to destroy a random card in your opponent's hand. You'll notice a lot of the Aqua cards are just about hand looping your opponent, which is typically, like, if you're forced to go first, typically what you want to do is just loop your opponent's hand for as many cards as possible. Brave NEOS, whenever it destroys a monster by battle, you will search your deck for a NEOS related card. Bit of a slow card in this deck, if I'm honest. It's not the most impactful card in the world in this particular version, but its fusion materials being NEOS and any level 4 or lower effect monster also gives it rather generic summoning conditions, which definitely makes it worth playing at least as one as an emergency poly target or something like that. You're very rarely going to summon this card off of like NEOS Fusion, for example. This isn't Duel Links. Sunrise. Very rarely will you summon this card unless you're going directly for the Shining NEOS Wingman play. On summon, search your deck for Miracle Fusion. He boosts up the attack points of your heroes by 200 attack per attribute you control, and if an attack is declared involving a hero monster other than himself, he gets to pop a card your opponent controls. Pretty decent, big beater, pop some cards, pretty solid. Marine NEOS loops your opponent's hand. Shining NEOS Wingman, one of the boss monsters of the deck, gains 300 attack points for every monster in your graveyard and can't be destroyed by card effects, automatically making this guy huge and very difficult to get rid of. Well, not very difficult to get rid of, he can still be targeted and stuff. I really wish this said cannot be targeted by or destroyed by card effects, because then this guy would suddenly become really fucking good. On summon, you can destroy cards your opponent controls up to the number of different attributes on the field. And if it destroys a monster by battle, you get to inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's attack points. Now this card is especially good in combination with Armed NEOS or in combination with a card called Favorite Contact. I don't know why I clicked that. Favorite Contact is a trap card right here that allows you to fusion summon during your opponent's turn. You can see based off the art exactly what it's meant to do. So if you can summon this card during your opponent's turn, pretty cool. Typically you won't do that, you'll be summoning it during your turn because you're aiming to go second, and even if you were to have a resolvable Armed NEOS during your opponent's turn, there's another monster you would rather summon, that being Cosmo NEOS. We're skipping ahead a few steps here, but I want to talk about this guy. So his regular fusion requirements you're almost never going to use. That's why I was considering cutting one of the Neospecians for like another hero monster. I really wanted to play Hero Lives, to be honest with you. For this exact reason. I sort of wanted to change the deck up to look more like this. But this guy basically is a King Calamity, for lack of a better description. On summon, activate the effect. For the rest of this turn, your opponent cannot activate cards, and cards your opponent controls cannot activate their effects this turn. They can't activate cards or effects in response to this effect. Once per turn during the end phase, shuffle this card back and destroy all cards your opponent controls. You're basically just turning off their turn, which is pretty awesome. So he's just another Armed NEOS target. Nebula NEOS, another example of well, this is why we're playing the Dark Panther really. Another potential armed NEOS target, as well as just being able to be contact fusion summoned on occasion. If it's special summoned from the extra deck, draw cards equal to the number of cards your opponent controls, then negate the effect of a card on the field until the end of the turn. So definitely a decent target to summon off of the likes of Armed NEOS. Very, very powerful card. Draw a bunch of cards as well as negate something, which is awesome. And basically during the end of the turn in which he's summoned, he gets shuffled back and all cards in the field are banished face down. So he's actually pretty close and on par with Cosmo NEOS. It really is a choice of the two in terms of what you want to summon. Both of them are absolutely broken if you're able to summon them. We've got Rainbow NEOS, which is sort of the main boss monster of the deck. Again, there are a number of bosses, but this is probably the main one. It has 3 main effects. You can either send a monster from your field to the graveyard to shuffle all your opponent's monsters back into the deck, send a spell or trap to shuffle all their spells and traps into the deck, or send a card from the top of your deck to the graveyard to shuffle all cards in your opponent's graveyard back into the deck. So it basically can just help you reset different aspects of the field. This card is absolutely amazing. Plus that 4,500 attack point just doesn't lie. Having the protection of a NEOS Fusion in graveyard as well as 4,500 attack points is pretty damn awesome. We've got Wake Up Your Elemental Hero. I threw this in because it's new and technically possible to summon, but I've not summoned it yet. It's really not that good in this version of the deck, so if you don't have it, cut it, play something else. But there's not like a lot of good cards to play. You're playing NEOS at the end of the day. I mean, come on, there's not that many good hero cards that you can summon. Armed NEOS, however, is one of the better ones. Unironically, this card is actually decent. I underestimated this card. This card's actually solid. Number 1, on summon, you get to target a dragon in your graveyard and destroy all your opponent's monsters with a level equal to or lower than the card you targeted. Considering you're going to be targeting a level 10, it is effectively a board wipe in most situations. If it manages to destroy a monster by battle, it gains an additional effect. During either player's main phase, as a quick effect, you contribute this card to special summon an Elemental Hero Fusion monster, ignoring its summoning conditions. This allows you to go straight into Cosmo NEOS, Nebula NEOS, or the Shining NEOS Wingman during your opponent's turn, which is absolutely amazing. So the Armed NEOS is unironically very, very good. It really is. I can't make fun of it too much. It is a bit of a gimmicky card, I get it. But it is unironically actually pretty decent, if for no reason other than its board wipe ability. Cosmo NEOS I've already talked about, and the Link monsters you will never use. Wonder Driver helps recycle Poly, Infernal Divisor helps search for NEOS, and Dread Decimator just boost. You don't play nearly enough heroes to make these cards playable. My advice, honestly, is find something else to play in these slots. Divisor, it depends on where you go with it, right? If you want to go down a Hero Lives route, then Divisor is usable and Wonder Driver is usable. The Dread Decimator is not usable. It's not. But you can use these two if you want to go down like a Hero Lives route. Technically they're summonable in this deck, right? But it's just they're not very consistent, they're not very good. So if you have other fusion monsters that you want to play, I would absolutely recommend playing them. Of course, the most obvious ones that we are playing are the 2 NEOS fusions, right? So we've got, of course, our Dark NEOS and Grand NEOS. You can play these 2 cards just as additional contact fusion targets off of your NEOS as well as your Neospecians. Absolutely, go for these 2 in place of them. These guys will unironically probably be more useful anyways, so it is just an option you can do. But anyway, that's the deck. Is it super powerful or consistent or anything? No, of course not. It's not meant to be. But it is pretty fun. You can play it either casual, low ranks. It's just an idea for you guys to play around with. I enjoy playing it, and I hope you enjoy playing it, and I also hope to see you in the next video. I said that weird. Bye-bye.